Framing is just one part of video composition, and today we're going to talk about 3 things to keep in mind as you frame your shot while recording the sermon video on a Sunday morning. The first thing that we're going to talk about is choosing your frame size. Choosing your frame size you might think of as how zoomed in are we or how zoomed out are we. Here's a list of common frame sizes and their names. Now, for a standard, mostly behind the pulpit preacher, you're going to probably want to stick with a medium to a medium close. And if your preacher is more or less pinned to the podium, you can probably go all the way in with a close. Now, if you've got somebody who's walking side to side and is gesticulating quite largely, you may need to go out to a medium full or even all the way to a full. So know your preacher and pick the right frame size to match their preaching style. Next, let's talk about headroom. Now, headroom is that amount of space right there between the top of your speaker's head and the top of the shot. Now, you want to make sure that you've got as little as possible without cutting off the face of the person talking. So keeping it nice and tight right up there helps your speaker fill the frame, and when someone is watching your video later, it feels bigger, more intimate, more connected. Somebody who is leaning far back like this feels disconnected, far away, and won't have the same impact. So try to keep things nice and tight. Then our last lesson in video composition today is the rule of thirds. Now, the rule of thirds simply means that when you put something in a frame and you want it to be the most interesting, you typically want to put it right on what you might think of as grid lines that would look like a tic-tac-toe board overlaid on your video frame. Where those little lines intersect are your ideal points of interest. So keeping your speaker slightly off center is actually much more interesting and will engage the audience who's watching much more than putting them dead center and shooting them right on. So rule of third, put the interesting points, typically the speaker's face, right there on one of those intersections, and keep the extra space off to the other side. Well, by following these 3 basic tips, you can dramatically improve the framing and composition of your video on a week-to-week basis and improve the engagement and the feel of your videos overall. It's really helpful for those people who weren't able to be there on a Sunday to be able to feel like they're there while they are watching that video, so give them the best chance by framing your video as well as possible. Well, no doubt some of you have even more tips and tricks for framing. Leave those in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and sign up for your free account for a 40-day trial at Sermons.io. For Sermons.io, I'm Jeff McFadden. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.